Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play LSD. I'm your host CPC Gamer, and in our last episode, I realised that I sign off on all of my videos with "Join Us" next time, which doesn't make a great deal of sense because there is no us. Like, there is only me who is sat here doing this. I mean, unless you count the woman in white with no face, who was stood in the corner and watched me record all 400 some of my videos in absolute silence. But that's okay. You know, I mean, I don't bother her, and she doesn't bother me. Much. Anyways, this is LSD, the Dream Emulator, and I'm heading for a door in the sky. Continuing the alien theory that I all the times like to bring up, this bit would represent leaving the Dream Simulator, since it's the only door that isn't outright connected to anything. And it always takes you to the area that I assume to be the bridge. See? And I'm not going to screw around jumping off the edge this time. I'm going to go through the door and back into the main simulation. And I forget if I showed this off yet, but that's the writing texture for this map. Looks like chalk on a blackboard. Also, this whole thing is 1 pixel thick, which is pretty weird to me. I think it's a shame that there's not really anything here. Like, you know, a full explanation of what's going on. That would be ideal right now. Oh. Well, disregard that. I just saw somebody. And again, going to the alien theory, this would represent the girl who got abducted and escaped, and now she's just running around on the ship like it's a game. Which wouldn't make sense, because the player is meant to be the abducted, so that would mean that I was looking at myself. And linking with myself, apparently. That's weird, because I didn't think that was possible. I thought the girl was one of those weird, inert entities that's just kinda there, you know? Now, is this the way to the river? I think it is. Well, of course, every time I've done this, I thought it was, so it shows how trustworthy I am navigating maps. But I'm alright, though. I found my way. Largely by using the very tall woman right there as some kind of beacon. Just like at conventions! Anyone up there? I want to see if the old lady's going to show up before I go and screw around with that face thing. And that rich, creamy sentence was brought to you by the video game LSD. I should make a compilation of those at some point. Just some of the random junk I've come up with while discussing this game. But on the other hand, I don't feel like dealing with you today. Nor do I feel like sitting through the whole run again. So, imagine I did a compilation and it was hilarious. Although I will say this, though, the grey man showing up over there, it kind of frees me as a character, because it means that I can run wherever I want, and I know he won't jump out and get me. Kinda. I mean, I'm fairly confident that once he spawns, he won't spawn again until he touches you, or you go to another map. I don't know, I've never really hung around him long enough to find out. Oh, and you weren't stuck to the wall when I found you, face. Was I not supposed to approach you from this side, or did your rigging guys get lazy when they were making you? I wonder what tunnel this is. Oh! Well, how's that? I got linked to a space 3 feet to the right. It's a pretty impressive, game. I mean, if I understood how your random number generator worked, I'd probably have a better understanding of what just happened, but there you go. Hey, hi, how's it going? You seem to be popping up a lot lately. Which makes sense, I suppose. I mean, dreams have their ups and downs as time progresses. Might have been shockingly dark lately. It's not nice. And very vivid, too. Like, generally, whenever I wake up, I have to take a bit and just recalibrate my brain to work out what is and is not real. Like, whether it's a dream or a nightmare, I have to take a short while just to work out what on earth just happened. I mean, like right now, for example. I need to recalibrate and work out how I managed to wander off my intended path and go... I don't know where I've gone. Oh wait, never mind, there's the apartment block. I know where I am now. Just bang right past the bloody house, and here we are at the river again. And I did it without Lighthouse Lady. You know, I don't know why I insist on attaching such silly nicknames to things. I mean, possibly because it helps me feel like I know what I'm doing, or it creates a friendly atmosphere in a generally unknown and hostile one, and that kind of makes it less frightening. And that's probably it. Or I've been watching way too much Castle lately, and I picked up that theory from there. Although that lady's kimono was pretty cool. I mean, you don't see the yellow tiger print one very often, which is actually alright by me. I mean, I'm not entirely keen on animal print in clothing, but it just... you know. With that said, my style is pretty simple, just dumb t-shirt and shorts and I'm all set. Hardly a trendsetter. Face, are you feeling alright? Oh man, what? I don't know if you guys are aware, but putting Google eyes on stuff is always hilarious. It's a good way of getting a cheap giggle out of me at any rate. It's not the most sophisticated humor, but that's okay. You know, sometimes a good bit of juvenile slapstick is just the thing. I said it before to a couple of my friends. Sometimes the funniest thing is just a fat bloke falling over. Nope, and I am not linking with that post right there. I'm going to see if the woman is up on the balcony, I think. I think I mentioned before, but there's apparently something that happens along this little walkway, but it only happens when the woman is on the balcony. So, you know, that's why I'm so eager to find her. You know, then it's something to do. Like, whatever makes up the video time. That is a good attitude to have, Andy. Well done. No wonder you're the #1 YouTube guy with a CPC-related username. That feels like a world record that I just made up. It's like that one guy who has the world record for holding the most world records. He got them because he just does stuff that nobody else would ever want to do. You know, like, longest distance in orange has been pushed down a street by a nose. By a guy called Jeff. And I guess since the lady isn't on the balcony, I will now take her place. Which makes sense, to some extent, because I'm pretty sure the play character is female. Like, this game is based on the Dream Diary written by a female, so I assume you play as her. Unless Hiroko Nishikawa doesn't exist. Like, it's just some invented name like Alan Smithy or whatever. I wonder what Japanese... What name do the Japanese use for people who don't have a name? Like in England it's Joe and Jane Blogs, and in America it's John and Jane Doe. What do Japanese use? I bet if I use Google I'll find out, so... hopefully, Magic Crayon has done its job and is telling you the information right about... now. And I sure hope I did find something. Otherwise, you just had 5 seconds of uncomfortable silence. Why can I hear a train? The train isn't supposed to come anywhere near the castle. Well, this calls for an investigation. Let's hope the Grey Man doesn't come for me while I'm doing this. I mean, I'm really excited about exploring, and I don't want anyone to rain on my parade. Now... the only real spawn point for the train is meant to be the little tunnel beneath that giant robot, so... I don't know. Maybe it spawned in the middle of the track? But the noise isn't getting any louder or quieter, so I don't know if I'm getting closer or further away from it. This is the opposite of helpful, game. Wait, was that it? I guess not. I mean, the noise stopped suddenly too, so I think maybe the train just despawned or something. Who knows? Not I. Ugh, now what? My entire line of conversation hinged on finding that train and talking about it some more. Now I've got nothing. That's what you get for trusting this game to behave itself. Especially a temperamental game like this one. I mean, I've played worse games, or games that had a habit of crashing way more frequently than this one. Oh, and thank you for waking me up, game. Oh, and thank you also for uncovering the alien's eye so it can glare out at me from beneath my previous dreams. That is not spooky in the slightest. Was that one dream? I want to say that was just one dream, lasted like 10 minutes or whatever. I sure hope this correlates to something in tonight's dream. Like, maybe I feel more relaxed so more stuff happens? I don't know. Oh, and speaking of which, take a listen to this happy music. Like, if I had to say that the music is linked to the mood of the dreams, this one sounds either dynamic or like an upper. So I'm just going to bring the audio up for a little while so you guys can hear what's going on. It sounds like a guy who has just found a Casio keyboard and he's just having the time of his life plunking away and making noise regardless of anything other than his own enjoyment. And I guess the demon's not going to show up tonight. Or any other night, really. I mean, I think that one time was just a mass hallucination or something. Oh, you can go right to hell if you just did what I think you did, game. We'll find out in post, I guess. Or not. I mean, I don't even want to look, because it might just make me sad. But I think the game spawned the demon right in front of me as I was linking out. So boo! Rubbish, filth, slime, muck. Princess Bride is such a good movie, you guys. And do you see what I mean about the pagoda making the dreams pretty short? I mean, I wonder why. Especially since it's nothing that I am doing by choice. Like, the game chooses that I should go there. Oh, and now, some text. Magic Crayon, you are really earning your keep in this batch, let me tell you. Now, I mentioned this bit before, but the alien's right eye is peeking out from the dream shot now. That's kinda creepy and all. But I wonder what will happen if I cover it up. Like, will I call bingo and let the video sequence run again? Who knows? Because now it's time for day 191. I'm just gonna keep quiet and not at all acknowledge the text stream just now, because I don't want to look back and have it translated so I've got a talking point for this stream. I mean, I'm near the end of my run of 6. I don't want to think about anything too much right now. Okay, so there's nothing there, so I'm going to go downstairs and maybe try to ignore the bright pink fog through the cracks in the scenery. Like, it's always something neat to me when I get to see cracks in the edges of the scenery. Especially in modern games, where you think that we'd outgrown that kind of thing, you know? Like, this game is the awkward adolescent phase of polygonal video games. We're not at 100% on what they should be like, so it's not the best. And when you see modern games splitting at the seams like that, it's, I guess, the gaming equivalent of when you call your teacher mum. That wasn't an awkward teenager analogy at all, CPC gamer. You had to go to your room and think about what you just said. Except I'm already in my room. So, whatever. Let's see what's going on with the tower. I nearly said Eiffel Tower, when this is not that. This is the Empire State Building. Hey folks, welcome to How to Easily Recognize Easily Recognizable Things, with me, your host, the Louvre. And if you're not going to grow, then I'm just going to barge into you and go do something else. That's what she said. Can you do that to yourself? Or is that reserved exclusively for other people? Well, whatever. This is not an interactive format, so I'm going to call it, and hopefully we'll be okay. I mean, we'll certainly be okay if the game's going to give me new squares like that. I think it'll be refreshing to see some brighter colours on the wall, rather than just a fading progression of boring greys, you know? Like, that's one of the things that I'm surprised to find affects me working in a clothing store. I love summer, because we get all the bright, vibrant colours, all the neons and stuff. And then autumn rolls around, and it very quickly turns into a procession of washed-out greys. I mean, charcoal, if you're lucky. And forget whatever I was doing there, because now I'm someplace else. I wonder why the game keeps spawning you in that specific spot beside the castle entrance. I mean, most likely thing I can think of, they were meant to spawn you beside something, and then they moved the map around, but not the spawn points. Oh wow! This place looks pretty broken! I mean, worst of it is, I don't actually think that was one of the broken texture packs for the corridor. I'm just not entirely used to seeing it, and I'm backing up. I'm going to call do-over on that link. Game's been doing that a lot lately, just throwing out the grey man for a few frames and then never again. I wonder what's up with that. I wonder if that's why I've not been seeing as many new squares on the board. It's because I'm in favour of making it anybody's fault but my own, you know? And I like that Lilac Sky. Lilac Sky sounds like it should be a band name. Or a stripper. Anyways, let's ignore that line of conversation and pick up on something else. Oh yeah, so I was talking to a friend of mine lately. She's pregnant and we were discussing baby names, and, well, I suggested Andrew, because that's the name for a cool and handsome man who is a terrific musician that you should all like and subscribe. But she wasn't going for it, because it's a girl, which apparently rules out Andrew on principle? I don't know, woman logic, whatever. We both said how we really like the name Summer, but we never actually name our child that, because it kind of sets the glass ceiling pretty low. Besides, my girl's going to be called Rose. Everybody knows this. And I'm going to get a look at you, Mr. Turtle. I want to see what you look like with this weird texturing. Okay, you see the way that it doesn't look quite right? It doesn't align to anything? That makes it think this is a glitch of some kind. Like, that texture isn't meant to be there. You know? See what happens when I link. And probably nothing out of the ordinary, but you never know. Yeah, a lot of trippy tile sets tonight. I can go for that. I mean, hopefully this means we'll get an upper when we end the dream. Again, though, you can't really expect logic or sense from this game. To do so is folly. Even though one of the intro videos for this game talks about logic. Like, I think it's the one that says, in logic, the sonorous dream, but I'm not too sure on that one. I mean, it would make sense, given the word sonorous and all, but I forget if it's that specific word salad. And once again, the game decides it's going to continue with these upper-style visuals. I'm liking this. I'm liking it. And of course I'm going to head back to the warehouses again. I mean, one of these days, something different is going to happen, and I'm going to feel justified for all the times I went there, and nothing happened. And I guess I was wrong before when I said the car shouldn't land like it did. Seems like it makes sense to keep the trajectory that it had when it launched. Now, I'm going to try my best to not run so much with this one, because I don't have the best of luck in navigating or, you know, keeping out of the way of the grey man. Except for that bit. But, like, with the exception of that little bit of running, and any that I do subsequent to this statement, I'm going to stop running in the Violence District. I do not hold out a great deal of hope for this little run, because there's usually something in one of the first two. I do like the tiger print air conditioner, though. Again, I don't like animal print. I think it looks kind of tacky, but that looks good. Oh, except for cow print. Cow print can be fun. But that's for another day. Yeah, it's pretty telling of the atmosphere that the game creates that I'm a little worried about the gunner or the grey man spawning, even though they're... The hell? Well, this is new. I take back what I said about nothing happening tonight. The strut's showing out. I don't know, I'm going to take a look. I guess not. Oh, and it's nice to see that the giant hole in the improperly rendered ceiling is still there. Okay, I'm not going to link on that doorway, because I want to see what everything else looks like. I'm going to take a look around. What does the gunner look like, I wonder? Now, this is something I've been wondering for a while now, because you can stretch the scenery upwards in the Monument Park and have an NPC spawn there, but I've never got it to happen yet. And I kinda don't need to now. I mean, you saw him as I went past, right? He's the same height as I am, it's just the world that grew around us. And that would be incredibly deep, if not for the context in which it were delivered. I don't want to get too close to him, because I know that he can pivot and shoot you if you get too close, or just look at him for too long, so I am going to leave him be for now, and I'm going to keep exploring. I'm actually going to see if I can get one of the corpses to spawn from the lampposts. I mean, I want to see what the other actors look like in this weird stretched out setting. Okay, avoiding you. I am going to... I think it's best if I head over to the little car park area. I mean, that's where a lot of the more bizarre stuff happens, so... yeah, let's go! Disclaimer, I make no guarantee that I won't get distracted and wander off on my way somewhere. I'm kinda curious to see what the digger looks like. But I'm suddenly very aware that I've been in this dream for a while now, so I should probably stop wasting my time and go straight to my intended destination. Okay, we don't have any crazy murderer tonight. That's generally a good thing. 2 is a good number of eyes to have. Okay, so this came up with Onir Chambara, and I like to think that it happened in Wario Land too, but apparently you can tell when I'm smiling as I do this, because I sound different. And it's going to be interesting to listen to this in post, because I'm loving this right now. Like, I'm not even scared anymore. I'm just enjoying exploring the place. Not that I was particularly scared to begin with. I mean, on edge, I suppose. I don't know. Ooh, I wonder what's happened to the collision data. Maybe let's not link with that car, though. Okay. Let's go. Brilliant. Well done, game. Alright, give your QA testers a pat on the back, because this is just fantastic. I mean, I am not even mad at this point. I'm having way too much fun. Let's keep going. I think I'm going to be okay running through here. I mean, I hope the Grey Man doesn't spawn, because like, I don't know where he's going to go. You know, will he be on top of the walkway? Will he be where the game thinks the top of the walkway is, which is where I'm walking? Now, I want to look at the digger, but I'm not sure how to get out. That's a shame, because I was enjoying that. If that happens again, I will have to go and check out the docks or something, see if I can wander around outside the level boundaries. Oh, look at that! There's a floor down there! I'd always assumed that this was a platform above an endless drop or something like that. Oh, and I'm back! I've got another shot at doing that weird scaling thing. I mean, I know I said I was going to go and tease the gunman Or at least I meant to at some point in one of these videos if I didn't. But I'm going to go see if I can do that weird scaling trick again. Of course, I say trick like it's something I intended to do. It kind of happened on its own, apropos of nothing. And am I moving slower than usual? Because it certainly feels like I am. Which is weird, because the map is smaller than it was before. I mean, I assume the map growing means it takes longer to get from point A to point B, but you never can tell with games of this age. Okay. Which one of you guys was it that made the map change? Or was it one of the warehouses? Was it just being in the right place at the right time or something? There, you got me. I wonder if this is what people felt like when they were first figuring out science and stuff, you know? Like, does this weird thing always happen when I do that? Let's try it a bunch of times. And then let's electrocute an elephant for a laugh. I think it happened as I walked between the third and fourth ones, so... No? Well, that's okay. I mean, it wouldn't be as much fun if you got whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted it. Apparently. Whoa! There it is! Okay, yeah, I wonder if this is going to be a reoccurring event. Like, I know I can get kind of forgetful between recordings of LSD, but I'm pretty sure I remember this bit the next time I come here, you know? This is a pretty big one. Oh, look at that! The other gunner has shrunk too! Which I suppose would make sense, because he's not part of the level geometry. He can move around, he has scripted behaviors and whatever. Okay, good night everyone. Oh, weird! I thought I was supposed to make you Link. Ah, well. Join us next time for whatever, and until next time, goodbye!